Rain. Cascading down the brick buildings of the small lakeside town, it rushed along Main Street's gutters and plunged down the steep hill to Bridge Street. Fall River was black and cold. Hard winds were gusting across its surface and racing upwards, making wild pendulums of the town's sole traffic light, cable suspended above the intersection. Second-story windows reflected the funhouse splashes of red, yellow, and green. The spring night was cold, and the streets were deserted, the northeastern states still dozing, reluctant to be roused from their post-winter slumber. Huge iron lampposts straddled the sidewalks like dark giants, their shoulders hunched against the deluge, faces down, straining to push their light through the silver-black sheets of rain. At the Fall River Savings and Loan, a well-dressed man in his early 70s stepped out into the storm, grabbing the brim of his hat to keep it from flying away. Coattails flapping, he braced a foot against the door and locked up. Next door at the Bijou Theater, he ducked through the curtain of water falling from the old-fashioned marquee announcing a Hitchcock double feature, The Birds and Rear Window, burned-out bulbs making the old building's facade look ominous. He pulled open the heavy glass door and stepped into the overheated lobby, his soaked Oxfords leaving footprints on the worn carpeting. Fishing a damp ticket from deep inside his coat pocket, he handed it to Jimmy, the usher, whose pimply forehead complemented his worn brown uniform, complete with piping, braided epaulets, and a clip-on bow tie. "Just in time for the second feature, eh, Jimmy?" Jimmy tore the ticket, threw half into a near-empty fishbowl, and handed back the other half. "First show's going to be over soon, Mr. O'Connor. The lady's about to get pecked." He went back to studying a dog-eared Private Eye paperback. "Thanks." Alex O'Connor peered into the theater through the circular glass portal. Light from the movie screen glistened on his wet face. Tippi Hedren was stepping into an attic room where a swarm of birds awaited. Removing his hat, he ran his fingers through his thick white hair and put a hand flat on the door, smudged from countless popcorn buttery hands. Suddenly, a low resonant rumble rose up from the bowels of the old theater, and the floor vibrated. "What the hell?" Jimmy said, standing up fast. Alex and Jimmy stood frozen in place for a long moment, looking at each other, listening. "Whatever that was," Alex said, "it sounded deep." Inside the theater, the soundtrack built. The birds attacked and tore at Tippi. The music hit a crescendo, ending abruptly. Bloodied and beaten, Tippi fell to the ground. The building shook again. Alex shot out a hand to brace himself. The tremor ended as abruptly as it had started. "Go up and get Dawn," Alex said. "Yes, sir." A thump from below, bigger and deeper. "Run up straight away, Jimmy. Go. I'll prop open the lobby doors. You'll be wanting to evacuate the theater." Overhead, a dusty chandelier swayed slightly, bulbs blinking. Seeing that, Jimmy raced up the curving staircase 2 steps at a time.